It's been told to you, Adam, which is all of humanity, what is good and what Adonai demands of you, to do justice and love mercy and to walk with humility with your God. I think that one of the things that gets lost in the world of faith is theological humility. We all need to acknowledge that this God, who we call omnipotent, this God who we would never put parameters on or limitations on, is perfectly capable of creating britot, of creating contracts and creating covenants with all kinds of people all over the world. It is so inappropriate, in my eyes, for one faith to say, we have the one way to communicate and to praise God, and all the rest of you are wrong. It's not acceptable to me that God is so limited that God only has one language and one dynamic with one group of people and everybody else is out. So when I started to have conversations with the Christian community through Reverend Anderson and through the Muslim community through Imam Ansari, I was looking for the understanding of what God has created with these other communities. There is a universal dynamic of imitatio Dei. We are meant to imitate God. If God can set for us the values of humility and justice and love, it is incumbent upon us to try to achieve those things ourselves. So if God can create connections with Christians and Muslims and Baha'i and Quakers and Buddhists and people of all kinds of indigenous faiths around the world, that's what I should be doing as well. We have been on quite a journey together, and my two partners in crime, my two colleagues, we call each other all kinds of things, have been together in all kinds of contexts, addressing all kinds of issues. Reverend Anderson and I have testified before the Senate Judiciary Committee in Rhode Island in support of legislation that would establish civil marriage for same-gender couples. Imam Ansari could not stand with us at that moment because his faith community dictates a different approach to that issue. But before Reverend Anderson and I went off to the State Senate Judiciary Committee, we checked with our friend Farid and said, we're still talking to each other before, during, and after, right? And yes, we're good. That is mutual respect. That is acknowledging that we aren't trying to create one faith that everybody can identify with, but creating mutual respect and understanding between all the faiths. So when we can come together and stand together, we do. And when we cannot, we still love each other. We still care about each other. Several years ago, we tried to bring a group of clergy together here to Israel, an interfaith group. And our effort was cut short because there were people who we were trying to bring who tried to turn that journey into a political journey. And we stopped because we didn't want it to be a political journey. We wanted it to be a spiritual journey. So when Nomi Tzur started to talk to us about the Green Pilgrimage, all of a sudden we saw an opportunity that we never thought possible. We saw now that through this conversation about stewardship, this conversation about not only our joint responsibility to take care of God's creation, but acknowledging that we all have to figure out how to live together in God's world. That Batir model is a beautiful model of doing that. Here's an opportunity for us to bring together the faith leaders from our region to come together and to create sort of a safe space for a pilgrimage through this opportunity of Green Pilgrimage. That's why the three of us are here, because we're hoping to be back again with a whole bunch of other people in the near future. It is the combination of the cultural and spiritual background of Rhode Island, the trust, and the theological humility that have gotten us to where we are. We were talking earlier today and talking about how we're not comfortable with Americans coming and saying we have the answer that the rest of the world should adopt, because that's a little bit of chutzpah, we say around here. Farid even knows what chutzpah is. But there is an element of, this is a simple and accessible and very human way to function. To simply sit down with people and get to know them and get to respect them, and to build out from these nuclear groups of mutual respect and mutual knowledge. That's what we bring to Jerusalem today.